What's up, guys? In partnership of Game Buzz and Print Nation, we already have our band royalty apparel. If you guys wanna check it out, it's on Print Nation and Game Buzz. Again, the Twerk Tune Motor band royalty T-shirt is available now in limited stocks. I will put the link below where you can order. And now, let's go to the show. Heat number 3.
Everybody wants to go fast.
This is Heat 3, right?
That's why I love stock box.
Heat 3?
Heat 3, yeah. Oh, why are you handing me your car? I don't want your car. Oh, I'll take the car, but...
Alright.
If you're ready. The wheelie over here. The wheelie bar.
Oh my god, I think it's gonna get coursed up. Woo. Ah, it's slower. Right? Is it slower or faster?
Slower.
Hope it doesn't course up. Here you go. My last heat. Yeah. Woo. 2311, a little bit faster than the other one. What's up, guys? This is Cielshock from City USA Mini 4-Wheel Drive Racing Squad, and I'm a teacher here in New Works. And earlier, you saw the video of my heats of my car Nadare, my VS chassis, built for high speed for tune class time attack. And today we're going to talk about that car and all the parts and all the purposes of the parts, and it's basically a car feature. So this is Nadare. You guys have a closer look. This is specifically built for a tune class category. That is, you guys are allowed to cut and trim parts. So there are two tune class category, which is the basic one, and this one is basically the modified one. So let's get into it. First of all, I want to show you my favorite part, the rubber body catch over here. Here you go. That's another part. I have it on my basic tune class too, but I like this part because basically making the car lighter. It's the rubber catch. It's 95393. Again, this is a 95393. This is a rubber body catch to secure the car. All right. Next would be this body shell. The body shell is a Fire Dragon body shell from a Fire Dragon kit. And also you can get it from a Fire Dragon polycarbonate clear bodies separately sold. It's a 95406. I chose this body shell because I like the style, and also it's compatible for VS chassis, but it might not be the lightest. There are some other lighter body shells over there, like Avanti or Astute or Vanquish, but I picked this one because I like the Thunder Dragon style. And also shout out Team Raw for sending me these wheels. Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Jackson Trow. Team Raw. Check them out on their Facebook. Team Vietnam. Samia Saigon. Alright. Moving on. Let's go to the chassis. Alright, so this is a chassis. This is a VS chassis reinforced red. Alright, as you can see, I didn't cut the bumper. I didn't cut the bumper because I want to make the car lighter. So, because some people will put carbon pieces over here, multis, and some people try to make what you call that carbon surround. But I chose not to cut it. It's my own decision not cutting it, because I want this bumper to be mounted, and I'll just compensate the other parts of the car to be light. So this is the VS chassis reinforced red. It made of a polycarbonate reinforced material. It's 94677. The reason why I used this reinforced red is obviously it's reinforced and it's tougher compared to a regular VS chassis. As you can see, I cut the wing to make it lighter, and I cut the middle part for battery, the battery slots over there, so I can basically pop the batteries right away and changing batteries, and also it makes the car lighter. But that's what I did, cut the wing, get it out of the way, and the middle part to make it a little bit lighter. But I chose reinforced VS chassis red to make it for the chassis to be a little bit tougher compared to a regular VS chassis. Alright, next part would be the narrow large diameter Super X wheels, which is this 3-spoke. Alright, it's 15414 narrow large diameter Super X chassis wheels. Alright, this Super X chassis wheels, as I've said, shout out Team Raw again. As I've said, Team Raw sent me this 3-spoke wheels, and Jackson Traw sent it to me. And it's basically 3 kinds of tires. We're gonna talk about the wheels first. The wheels are carbon, so it's tough, and it's 3-spoke because 3-spoke is the lightest large diameter wheels out there. So that's the reason why I have this. I might sacrifice a little bit of toughness because it's only 3-spoke, but it's carbon, so for me it's good enough because I'm only running it for tune motor. Just to remind you guys, this build is for tune motor only. I will not use this with other motors. So yeah, so that's the reason why I have the large diameter Super X wheels. It's also closest to the body, as just like my basic tune class. It's close to the body for better cornering, and for and to make the car narrower, so it will be zooming in inside the track, or it'll be flying fast in the track because it's a high-speed tune class. So again, that's 15414 if you guys want to make one. And underneath it, the next layer is a sponge tire. It's a Reston sponge tire, narrow black 15388. Some people use the low rebound sponge tire because that's the most available one in the market. But this one is a Reston sponge tire, narrow black 15388. So the reason why that first layer is a sponge tire, as you can see, they're all sponge. Sponge tire is a light material compared to a rubber tire. So basically, we're trying to make the car as light as possible by we wanna make a bigger wheels but light as possible. That's why we have the sponge tire. Okay, the red hard tires is from a Super X wheel too. It's 15504. That outer red tire. It's a hard tire from 15504. So that's a hard tire. It's a Super X wheel too. You can get it over there. So he basically trim it. That's the outer part, and that white part over there is comes with a narrow large tire. So if you buy the narrow large tire, the 3-spoke, you will get that white hard tire inside. That's a white hard arc tire over there. So basically, it's a combination of Carbon Super X 3-spoke, large diameter, narrow wheels, and sponge tires, Western sponge tires. That white part is a white hard arc tire, and this red tire outer right is a red hard tire. So it's basically a lot of combination of wheels, but it's still up to you what combination you want to do. The main point of trimming the tires over here is making it narrower as much as possible for less drag. For cornering, because it's narrower, because so there's less contact surface, as you can see. The reason why the sponge tire is that thick to make it 8mm legal, because in Tamiya rules, it has to be 8mm. There's no way that it's not gonna be legal if it's not 8mm wide. So that's also a reason why you have your sponge tire 8mm wide like that, because you might be wondering why it's wide like this. See, it's protruding over there. Just to clarify that. And also, the reason why I have this 35mm large diameter wheels is for better top speed. That's the main point of it. In high speed, I'm racing a 5-lane track, so I need a lot of top speed. Alright, moving on. I have 4 AO620s on the cars. That's the bearings that I use, and also I have roller spacers inside. So remember, I have 4 AO620s over there for my wheels, for smoother. And moving on, we gotta go to the rollers. So the rollers are AO830s. There I have 2, 4, 6. I got 6 pairs of AOs 830s. It's basically 8mm and .30. There people might be asking me, why do I use AO 830s? They are very, very smooth, and very, very smooth. As you can see, they're fast. Because they're like bearings. They're not like rollers that you put bearings. It's basically the bearings already, so it's fast. And as I go more laps, it gets faster. And also, because it is a bearing, it does have the biggest contact surface for stability purposes. So AO830s have the thickest, one of the thickest contact surface besides the 13mm bearing rollers. So this bearing rollers, the AO830s, so for stability purposes. That's the reason why. So you can have the speed that you want, how fast you want to ride the track wall, and also you have the stability because of that thick contact surface. And you also might be wondering why I have a smaller roller over here. This is also an AO620. I have 2 AO620s up front. The reason why I have 2 AO620s up front is it acts like a stabilizer, because it stabilizes the car every time the car tilts, but it doesn't hit the track wall while it's riding on straights. The back is even because they're all 830s, but the the top part, which is the 620s, are not riding the track wall when the car is running straight. But once the car goes to the corners, the car tilts a little bit. It acts like a stabilizer, and I don't have the stabilizers, so this AO 620s are gliding. Even though it acts like a stabilizer, it's still sliding on the track wall, so I have a lesser drag over there. But that's the whole point of having the 620s over there. Alright, 30mm screws. I have 4 30mm screws. I chose 30mm screws because I wanted a little bit shorter, because if I go 35 or 40, it will be higher, and the higher the screws are, is the more stable the car is. But for me, 30mm screws are already enough to stabilize the car, because first of all, I'm using only torque motor. It's a tune category, and I think the higher the roller is more drag, because it will hit the track wall. As you can see at the basics of the roller, my roller basics, I have a video about the roller basics. The higher the roller is, it stabilizes the car, but You sacrifice the speed, and also it can ride the track wall. Like when it can ride and go up in the track wall because it's very high. That's why I didn't use 40 or 35. So for me, 30 is already enough. The next part that I'm gonna show you is the carbon multi with rear stay, 1.5 millimeters J-Cup 2018, which is 95114. Again, it's the it's the high grade carbon multi with rear stay, J-Cup 2018. There's nothing special about the 2018. I like the 2018 because it matches the color. Nothing extravagant over there, but this is the rear stay, and I cut it. Originally the rear stay have extensions over here for speed tech. They use it for long tail, but I cut it to make it lighter. I only use one because I think it's enough to be stable, and I cut it so it's closer to the body. See, I cut the further holes, as you can see over there. It was shortened so the rollers would be closer to the body, and to shorten the car for better cornering speed. And that's basically what I did. Again, that's carbon multi with rear stay, 1.5 J-Cup 2018, 95114. So yeah, I cut that part and then shortened that part. Alright, so the next part would be the high grade carbon multi setting stay, 95113. That's the front, and basically mounted up front, and they have the 19mm slot over there, and they're all like just bolt on over there. The reason why I use that too is it secures the bumper, because you have multiple holes that you can actually like attach it on the VS chassis. There you go. Again, it's 95113. So let's go inside the transmission. Okay, you guys might be wondering, what is this part? This is a carbon piece that I took from one of the red carbons over there, like the J-Cup 2018. Because this latch pops out every time you have a high torque motor, and because we're running torque tune and I'm a little bit paranoid, I want to secure the car. I made it like a customized easy lock. See, that's a carbon piece for easy lock, because this part pops out with a lot of torque. As you can see, I have black brakes over there too, because the transmission is just better when it's pushed. It secures the motor and push the motor. Actually, I'm gonna show you I'm gonna show you how smooth it is, what it sounds like with that, because without that it's gonna be loud. There you go. So that's the reason why. And I'm gonna show you in the internal parts. Obviously, I'm using Neo Champs. I'm using torque tune motor. And dismantle this whole thing. Alright. The next part is a carbon hollow propeller shaft for Super 2 and TC. It's a 15205. And then it was the teeth of the propellers were shaved off, so it won't be rubbing to the floating transmission. So you can see it won't be rubbing on the floating transmission because it was shaved. It was shaved off. So that's the hollow propeller shaft, 15205. And it's hollow. So you can see it's hollow because it's a little bit lighter compared to the other propeller shafts, stock propeller shafts. So as you can see, I trimmed that part, cut it or shave it, so it won't be rubbing on the transmission. Alright, next are carbon crown gears with pinion. It's 15462. Those are carbon crown gears right there. Why do I use carbon crown gears? I use crown gears because they're just a little bit tougher for me, and it works with high speed. and obviously it's a little bit lighter compared to other to the pink crown gear. It's just basically tougher. That's what I use it. That's why I use it. It's 15462, the carbon crown gears. All right. Next would be the lightweight plastic spacers. These are the lightweight plastic spacers for the rollers and also the spacers for floating gear. That's for floating transmission rather, sorry. That's 15506 plastic spacers. This black plastic spacers, it's 15506. You will be needing that set for this for the rollers, and you will also need it for a spacer for that floating transmission. For floating transmission, you're basically cutting the middle piece and then putting the spacer in the middle, that black part, and a motor spacer, then pushing it with a pinion gear to make it smoother. So that's 15506, the plastic spacers. All right. This part, actually, before I forget, this is a carbon piece cut to push the motor. It's basically pushing the motor forward, because when the car is running, you have that torque. It basically secures the motor. So I cut it shaped like that. Just measure it so you got the exact measurements for it when you're making it. All right. So next would be the super speed gear. Super speed gear is the yellow and light blue gear. It's 15432. Again, it's 15432. It's the super speed gear. The reason why I pick super speed gear is it does have a lot. It is the highest top. It is highest on top speed. The 351 gear ratio is the highest, and the I need all that that top speed for the high speed class, and also I have bigger wheels, so it basically maximize all the top speed that I need, and I'm running torque tune 2 motor, so it compensates the lack of torque of this gear ratio settings and the wheels. And the last but not the least is the pinion gear. It's 15289. The pinion gears that you need is 1, 2, and 3. It's 1, 2, and 3 for obviously for your motor, for your pinion gear, and the one that pushes the floating transmission, and the one that secures the bearing here and the floating gear. So that's where you're gonna use your pinion gears. This is by the way, this is the floating transmission. It is customizedly cut. I didn't make it myself. This is from Jeff Ye from JHD. He sent it for me. So it's basically a super high speed counter gear, customized cut and with bearing, and then he put pinion gear over there to secure it, and also I have the pinion gear to secure the floating transmission. Don't be confused about the floating transmission, which is your transmission, and this is the floating counter gear. Because some people are like, where can you buy floating transmission? What is the difference between floating transmission and floating gear? So basically, this is the floating counter gear to be specific, and this is the floating transmission. So it's floating already. If you can see, it's floating. Alright, so that's basically it. That's my VS chassis, specifically made for tune class high speed races. And again, I'm using a torque tune 2 motor, so I will have that torque and then all the top speed for that setting. If you guys want more videos like this, you can hit the subscribe button, and you can also hit the bell right on the side if you want. Right there in the corner, please hit it, so every time I post a video, you'll get a notification. And again, this is Cielshock from CTUSA Mini 4-Wheel Drive Racing Squad, and I'm a teacher here in Noobworks. And as I always say, you learn from us, we learn from you. Always race humble. Peace.